What's up with your butt up? What's up, Glam fam? Welcome back to my channel. In case you haven't had a great day or week, you know your girl is here for you. So grab your wine and snacks and everything you need, because today's story time, you know, I'll be trying to have moral to the stories, you know, maybe a little wisdom here and there, something that can help you in life, but also the realness of it, okay? And some people be getting mad at me. You know what? Like, sometimes I don't like hearing about your petty story times. First of all, then why are you here? Yes, you do. I feel like some people are like, I am just like above that. I'm older now. I want like more professional vibe. Girl, who are you lying to? Who are you lying to? Because this right here is what I wish somebody would have stopped fronting about when I was younger, so that I could have gone in a bit more prepared. Because if you're gonna sit here 10 wrinkly toes down and try to convince me that at any point in time and juncture of your life, especially if you work in offices, that everybody that you come across, all of your coworkers and colleagues, are just so professional, and it is just a professional, mutual respect environment. Girl, if you don't stop it right now, the most petulant, childish behavior that I have ever witnessed has been within the confines of a corporate office with women that were 2-3 times my age. Stop it right now. And I, like many younger people, are under the impression when I go into a professional environment, I can let my guard down, okay? Because everybody in there is professional. No. Definitely tune in every single Monday, the His and Hers podcast. But I was talking to my husband about this because he had a very small stint working in an office. And even, girl, the small time that he was there, he saw some scandalous shit happening. And I was like, I knew it. I told you. We see our coworkers getting drunk, holiday parties, there's affairs that go on, passive aggressive emails, let me BCC, let me CC, let me stab you in the back, throw you under the bus with your boss. Where is the professionalism? Why are you lying? Let's go ahead and admit that it is a lion's den. You better go in there with your head on straight, your eyes on the prize, go get your check, peace out. Them's is not your friends. You're gonna see mess and you're gonna encounter unprofessionalism, such as once upon a time not long ago. No, so I worked at this transit company, and it was a really cool company. I really enjoyed working there. And I love the location mostly because it was at like the hub spot of the 16th Street Mall, where like we had all of the good restaurants, like, you know, Panera, we had McDonald's, we even had like some of the higher end spots like Hard Rock Cafe or Yard House, all right there. Within walking distance, girl, you know, it was a good thing and it was a bad thing all at the same time, because like I would be on my last dime out there buying something. Just quarterly meetings, it was like every few months. Planning, we were kind of like the planners, okay? And we would have to coordinate with some different departments and kind of get some all hands on deck type of situations. So they would have these meetings so that we could collaborate and make this shit happen, okay? But I'd never been to one until this day. I was hired on as the receptionist. The biggest conference room was right behind me, right? And it had like a sick ass view of the mountains, girl. It was very noisy, okay? Not only am I responsible for cleaning this conference room, but for this event, like, I'm responsible for getting things ready, setting things out, making sure that everything is nice and ready for everybody to start coming in, right? And this was gonna be like a 9 a.m. meeting. It was like one of the first thing in the morning, one of those big industrial sized coffee makers, you know, one regular, one decaf. I set those out. I have to set out all the, you know, little sugar packets, creamers. And then we had donuts or bagels, one of them. So I'm setting those out, napkins, you know, all that. And I'm making it real nice, real pretty. And, you know, I'm doing my thing, minding my business. She's really pretty. She's really cute. Ooh, and her style was so crew. I'm not even gonna lie. But I see her standing in the doorway. She's just kind of leaning there and she's looking at me very confused. And I'm like, hi. And she was like, I'm sorry, are you a part of this meeting? Yeah, you know, I am. Do you want some coffee, donuts, you know, anything? Girl, she walks in and she was like, are you sure? Y'all, I'm thinking that she's kidding. And I'm like, yeah, like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I've just never seen you before. Like, are you new? It was like the little flip of her words that was really irking my nerves. And I was like, nah, like, I'm just here just for funsies. I just happened to get up here somehow, some way, and decided to come to this exact, like, what? I wouldn't consider myself new, but this will be my first meeting that I'm attending for this topic. So I will be attending these meetings going forward. Okay, wow. Okay, so what department do you work for? There are going to be times when people are asking you questions because they're genuinely curious. They want to get to know you, like a little bit about your background. They're just kind of curious. It's genuinely a curiosity. And then there's another form of questioning that's just like, I'm trying to figure out where you fit in all this, because to me, you're not supposed to be here. And that was the vibe she was giving me. She was like, and like, what department are you in? And like, looking at me like, what could you possibly bring to the table, for lack of better words? I'm, the receptionist. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. The fuck is that supposed to mean? So like, everything that she was saying was just rubbing me the wrong way, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna play nice. Like, I don't know her like that. I had not seen her up until this point, and maybe some people just come off a little too strong. She just don't know how to word her questions, but I'm just gonna let this slide. So at this point, people are kind of trickling in, and some of my home skillet biscuits that I've already kind of developed a rapport with that work on my floor, they start coming in. Good morning, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Oh, you got all this set up. And so they start coming up to me, and I'm like, oh, hey. And I pay her no mind anymore. X amount of chairs and how many people were going to be in this meeting exceeded that. So we had a few people that were standing up against the wall. So she didn't even try to take a seat. She just stood against the wall right next to the door. Fast forward, the meeting commences, and we start talking about everything that's on the agenda. And there was going to be like an event going on. It was just supposed to be an in-office event, and they were talking about catering and things like that. And those are the things that I took care of. I had all the catering forms there. I had to fill out forms for like accounts payable and things like that. So we get onto this topic, and the head of this meeting, which was my direct supervisor, she's talking directly to me. And this was, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it was kind of, I wasn't used to that many people like looking at me, and I had not been, actively involved in a meeting this big before. So I was very nervous. And so she's like asking very direct questions, what day did you already call in? Did you already reserve this spot? Did you already put in the order form? Have you already notified accounts payable? Stuff like that. And I got all my ducks in a row, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. And I'm going through all of my stuff, right? I get interrupted in the most disrespectful. I'm so sorry, Nikki. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. Yet you are. I don't mean to interrupt, but speaking of accounts payable, I was noticing I'm doing some cross-referencing, and like, she starts talking about this fucking Excel spreadsheet that we had discussed 2-3 topics ago, and I guess Miss Thang just forgot or had to take all this time to formulate her damn question. But she decided to take this moment during my speech of how I have all my ducks in a row to my direct supervisor to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So we're gonna backtrack to this topic. Yeah, so they have this quick thing. My supervisor, bam, her attention is back on me, and she's like, okay, now, do you need my signature or anything? And I did. I had a few things that I needed to kind of, go over with her, and she was like, okay, just stop by my office, bitch. I'm so sorry. Actually, I was wondering, do you have any lunch plans today? Because I needed to talk to you about the so-and-so project, and it's the same girl. And by this point, I'm looking at her like, I feel like, do we have a problem? Do we have it? Like, I don't understand. Like, that could not have waited. Maybe email it, bitch. Like, what are you doing? You could tell everybody was like, what the fuck? Because like, she just kept, girl. I get disrupted again. My supervisor looks at me again to like continue our conversation, and I just looked at her and I was like, I'll stop by your office later if you have any other questions. Yeah, that sounds great. Like, we were on the same page, like, because this bitch keeps interrupting, so evidently we cannot have this discussion, okay? I'm a little bit annoyed, but again, I don't really know this girl. Like, she doesn't work on my floor. I have nothing to do with her, but she is kind of like a mosca. She's like annoying. She's just like, she has no tact when it comes to meetings and the etiquette of meetings, because there is an etiquette to that. You cannot just continue to interrupt during a meeting. There's a time when you're like, speaking, and each person has their moment. Like, come on now. That's all right. I peep it. Fast forward, I go back to my desk. Everybody, this is what I'm talking about. Like, stop acting like this is a professional environment, because I'm telling you right now, my desk would be flooded with my home skillets, my coworkers that just wanted to come get the cheese man. They just wanted to drop off some gossip. They just wanted to sip their coffee and be like, did you hear? So I'm sitting at my desk, everybody disperses, and like 2 of my coworkers come to my desk, and they were in the meeting. So they come to my desk, and I'm doing whatever, and I'm still a bit irritated. Hey, Nikki, so like, what'd you think? How'd you like the meeting? You did really well. Can we talk about Taylor? What was going on with her? If she interrupted one more time, I was about to lose it. Thank you. The other one is gonna sit up there and concur. And she was like, oh my, like, I saw that too. My coworkers peeped that too. And I was like, okay. So they gave me validation that I'm not tripping, all right? Like, that was crazy. Like, you just don't interrupt like that. Anyway, so at that point, that was the first time that I heard this girl's name. Taylor. All right. Name to the face. Name to the funky face. Typically, I would have lunches by myself because like I ain't got time for that. I would pop my headphones in and like go spend my money like I had it. I'm the only person in my family besides Julian that likes Panera. Like, y'all, my husband thinks that soup is a condiment. And I mean that with all sincerity. Look at my face. My husband thinks that soup is a condiment. I love me some broccoli cheddar soup. I love me some chicken noodle soup. Like anything with the broth in it, girl, me. I would take my time during my lunch hours while I was at work to get the stuff that I really like. And today, I was feeling Panera. So I take my cute self on, pop my headphones in. I get to Panera and it's really busy because obviously it's lunch hour. So the line is like hella long. So I take my place in line. And you know, I'm just on my phone, I'm listening to my music, no big deal. I order, and while I'm getting my drink, I'm waiting for my order, somebody comes up beside me and they're filling up their drink and they're like, oh, hey, fancy seeing you here. And it's one of my coworkers. We're gonna name him Josh. And so I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, telling me about the projects that he was working on. Okay, cool. So I grabbed my food, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like I hated running into my coworkers because this would happen where instead of me like being able to enjoy my food, I almost feel like obligated to, you know, I don't want to be rude, so I'm like kind of taking time out of my lunch. That line took 4 evs. So by the time, you know, I got my food and my drink and everything, it made the most sense to walk back. Like I needed that time to walk back. I was going to take my food back to my desk and munch on it back there. So here we go. I'm walking back to work. Josh is right next to me, okay? The whole time, y'all, he is talking to me about whatever, okay, that he's working on and everything. He was a very talkative person. We get to our building, and we have like this huge, what are they called? The doors, the turntables, the roundabouts, the chimichangas, bitch. In this lobby, it was huge, and there was a bunch of lounge chairs on the left. On the right, there was a little Starbucks and some tables and chairs. And then right in front is a literal convenience store, okay? So there's a lot of people. But as I'm making my way through this damn turnaround door, whatever the hell it's called, revolving door, bitch. And I lock eyes, you hear me? And like, she's walking towards me as I'm getting out of this thing. It is no other than Taylor. And she's looking dead at me. Girl, this is young Nikki. This is don't play with me, Nikki. This is do you got a problem, Nikki? What the hell? I see her, she sees me, I see her, and I'm like, hello? Think I looked away? I did not. I was like, do we have a problem? Josh, hey, oh my God, you're just getting back from lunch. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to have lunch. Where'd you go? You went to Panera? Why didn't you tell me? Girl, this whole time that I thought she was staring at me, she was staring at Josh. Oh, there I am up in the car, and I'm like, oh, okay, you lucky. Okay, you lucky. So I start walking away. I don't have nothing to say. This is not my situation. And quite frankly, I was kind of thankful for Miss Taylor coming and intercepting the situation because I am trying to eat my food in peace. Josh worked on my floor, so I would, you know what I mean? Slowly but surely walking away. Nikki, hold the elevator for me. Just hold on for like 2 seconds. Our elevators took forever, and that's why he said that. She spins around, and this time, she's looking at me. She looks down in my hand. She sees that damn bag, and she turns right around. Right in front of me. I'm standing right there. Did you guys go to Panera together? You guys went to Panera together? I know you lying. I know you're lying. Oh my God. I said no and walked my ass away. That's all I have to give you. I don't know you. I don't need to be telling you about the whereabouts during my lunch hour, ho. So like, you can go ahead, and sure enough, there goes, I hear him being like, no, we just like ran into each other there. I just found out that this girl existed. I definitely don't know anything about her personal life. And I don't know Josh like that either. Like, he works on my floor, but he works on the opposite side. And you know, we would just see each other in passing because again, my desk was right there by the main doors. Anyways, girl, neither one of these people do I care about deeply, okay? Like, honestly. So I just walked off. The elevator takes forever, and by the time it comes, here comes Josh, and he stands right next to me. Why are you so messy? I could see that concern in her face, and I was like, there's something going on there, and I really don't want to know. I really don't want to. I really don't care. Sure enough, bitch. Unsolicited, he starts telling me about the situation. They went on a few dates. He kind of ghosted her for a little while. They started talking to other people, then they kind of started talking again. It's been an on and off situation. They were buddies. They were. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, he's over here telling me the last time he saw her was like last weekend, and he hardly even remembers it, and she just showed up at his apartment. Like, why are you telling me all this? I don't care. That is how I classically found out that they had been messing around on and off. And, you know, for a few months now, I've been kind of like dodging her a little bit, and I didn't ask her to lunch today, so she was probably a little confused. Okay. Girl, I try to shut this down so fast. We get to our floor and I pretend like I have to go to the bathroom, and I just drop off my food at my desk. And I was like, okay, Josh, well, like, you know, talk to you later, bye. We would have to bind everything. So the 8.5 by 11 paper was constant. That was like our goal. We used so much paper. So with that being said, the copy rooms were my responsibility as well, in the sense that all of the supplies, the supply orders, and then getting everything out onto the floor and organized, my job. Everything labeled, my job. Doing the orders, my job. Getting accounts payable involved, my job. I knew the delivery schedules for everything like the back of my hand. Typically, our paper would be delivered bi-weekly, which means that it was huge deliveries. I would typically have to have like 2 of my coworkers at least help me roll these papers, each copy rooms, because we had 2 of them, 2 big ones on my floor. Well, anyways, girl, I'm sitting where my desk is. It can see where the elevator chamber, the elevator hallway is. And I see our delivery guy come out of that elevator, and he's got his cart. And what's typically, he's got to make 2 trips. Okay, 2. Why does this man come off of this elevator and he's got all of 4 boxes, maybe 5, maybe he miscalculated, maybe he's got to make another trip, no big deal. I let him in, he comes in, you know, I got to sign off on the paperwork, and I see 4 or 5 boxes on the paperwork. And I was like, oh, no. We need like 3 or 4 times this. What are you talking about? Like, you know this. And he was like, nope, that right there that you have in your hand is what was submitted to us. So this is all I have on my truck. Y'all, my heart dropped. And I was like, what are you talking about, girl? Let me tell you something, okay? I had been gone the week prior when this form had to be submitted, okay? And I had an older coworker, and she was the one that was like there for years and years and years. She was like the señora of the office, and you know, she thought she knew everything, and she was the expert. She helped train me and all that. So I really thought that I was leaving my role into good hands when I had a doctor's appointment and I had to leave for half of the day. And I told her that she needed, and she knew, she had put in these forms before, bitch. Long story short, this heifer did not put in that form right, and she ended up putting the wrong number on the quantity of the paper that was submitted. And so now we got this little brinky-dinky delivery. What the hell am I gonna do? Hey, you need to come over here and fix this discrepancy. Like, we don't have any paper. What do you mean? Girl, she tries to blame it on me. She was like, didn't you put in that order? And I was like, no. Do you see this date? The date of submission right there, that was you. So like, do not. So we have like this back and forth. Finally, she's like, yeah, that was me. Like, my apologies. She was like, can I get an expedited order in? And like, I'm just like, you deal with it, because this is a mess. And I don't know what we're gonna do, because we had like, I was helping to bind these manuals, like they were a part of a big meeting that was coming up. We had to do like the nice covers that were like plastic and clear. We had to do the, you know, the front face. Girl, it was a whole thing. And we had over 15 attendees, girl. We needed so much paper. My supervisor hears all the hubbub that's going on at the front desk, and she comes up and she stands next to me, and she was like, is everything okay? Not really. So I tell her the situation with the paper, and she was like, you're kidding. And I was like, I'm not. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I had everything spaced out to where I could get X amount of binding done per day while still managing my regular duties, so that I could have all of these done by the time the following Monday came around, which was the big meeting. So I'm already on a time crunch. She was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I need you to visit our different floors and see if they can spare some paper for us. Like, you know, even if it's a box or 2 here and there, even a few reams can get us through at least a few more handbooks. But, you know, please. Girl, we had so many floors in this office. 90% of which I had never stepped foot in. I'm not even gonna lie. My floor was the main floor. What you want me to say? She was like, just go take a cart and go to those floors and tell them the situation, and like I'll have someone cover you. And she's looking at my coworker that screwed all this up, and she was like, I will have someone cover you. And I knew that she was gonna take the opportunity while I was gone to get in her ass about this whole mess, right? I start visiting these floors, y'all, and it is so awkward. I'm trying to figure out which direction I could go because a lot of them had double entrances on each side. And who do I need? Everybody's so confused. Hi, can I help you? Can you spare some paper, sir? Can you spare some paper if you would, please? Everybody had gotten their delivery that day. Like when we got our deliveries, they would deliver to each floor. It just made it seem like I didn't do my job right. So everybody's like, wait, like you ran out of paper? How is that possible? Like today's delivery day. And I was like, I know that. But like, I don't have time to get into the meat potatoes. Like, do you have it or not? We ordered what we knew that we were gonna need. Like, you know, we don't have any to spare, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh my God. So I go to like 2-3 different floors, get the same answer. I had like 1 or 2 floors that were like, I mean, I can spare you like a few reams. And I was like, I will take anything. So there I go. I have like a few little funky reams on my cart. And I'm just like going up this elevator like, oh my God. I get to the next floor and I get off that elevator and it looks like a barren wasteland. It looks like a ghost town. And there are like the lights are off, but there's so much light coming in from the windows. So I could see and everything, but like the office lights, not at all. So I'm very confused. And so I was like, okay. So I pick a side. I pick the right side. I take my little cart, I go in this suite, I, you know, have to scan my card, I go in this suite, and there's no like reception desk or anything, right? It's just immediately cubicles, all empty. No computers, no chairs, no nothing. Like nobody's working on this floor, and I'm like, hello? And I have the directory, and it says that this floor has a few departments in it. So I'm like, okay, well, somebody gotta be here. Like, what you mean? So I just start kind of exploring. I go down the hallway a little bit and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm just like looking around and there's like an empty conference room and I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, maybe they have like a supply closet down here. Maybe there's, you know, like a little stash down here that I can kind of pick through, right? As I'm going down the hallway, I start hearing laughing. So I take my cart and I go down there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ask. So I go down there and there's a set of cubicles. I come around that corner and immediately laughing stops. It's Taylor. Then the other one was a girl that I had never met before in my life, but she was really nice. And she looked up, she was like, hi. She was like, can I help you? And I was like, yeah. So, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I give my spiel. And I'm like, yeah, you know, if you guys have any paper, like, I'd really appreciate it. And the whole time, Taylor, she's like looking at me and she's looking at my cart and she's like, wasn't today delivery day? Like I said, there was a discrepancy with the order form, so we're running short and like I have this big project, so that's why I'm in this, like going through the spill again. And I'm really trying to maintain my professionalism. That sucks. Well, what do you think? The other girl is genuinely concerned and she's like, oh my God, dude, no way. We don't have anything down here. She was like, we don't even have a printer on this floor. Shut up. And she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, man. So, you know, they tell me no. I tell them, all right, cool, have a great day. And like, I keep it very pleasant. I turn my little cart around, I start walking away. And that's crazy, but like, I'm not surprised. She's just the receptionist. Like, she probably doesn't even know what she's doing. Girl, these bitches start laughing. They start laughing. And like, I don't think the other girl was laughing because she was trying to make fun of me. I just think that she was like in an awkward position. She was like, like, right? But this girl, Taylor, she was like laughing, like cackling, okay? And you know that mean girl laugh? That mean girl laugh, like, like, that's why, because she's just the receptionist. They treated me like I didn't know what I was doing, like I didn't know what I was talking about because of my age. I got really tired of it. So hearing this girl cackle about my position really got under my skin. And I didn't say nothing because it's it's unprofessional to be, you know, trying to in the office. So I gotta walk away. But my pride, my ego, if you will, was very damaged. It didn't irk me a little bit, it irked me a lot of it. So much so that I went back to my desk and I was like, okay, I got something for your ass. I was able to get a few more reams of paper, but I went back to my desk, girl, and I was like, let me see something. Let me just see, because they were just like by themselves and I had never met that other girl either. And like in my mind, I was like, you gonna make fun of my position? Like, what do you do? Like, what is it that you do? Cause like, I don't even hear about you. Like at office, like holiday parties, nothing. Like, how come, hello? But I got the master directory. Don't play with me. I look up Miss Taylor. I find her, no problem. And I look at Miss Thing's title, and it says verbatim, intern, parentheses, unpaid. Intern, parentheses, unpaid. Miss Thing that has a lot to say ain't even an actual employee of this company. She don't even get a check. Come to find out that she didn't even work full days. She didn't even work full weeks. She worked a few days out of the week for a few hours. And I never knew that because she worked on a whole different floor. So I was like, I know you lying. Not you talking stuff to me when I'm an actual employee. I got a W-2. Like, what are you talking about? And look, there ain't nothing wrong with interning. Just like there ain't nothing wrong with being a receptionist. So before you come at me, like there's nothing wrong with doing interning. And like sometimes people have to, I know that. And sometimes folks like me cannot go to college and afford to do an unpaid internship because I gotta work. So that was the only reason why. Because like you got something to say about me, I'll say something about you all day long. So what's up? No check, having ass. What you talking about? I felt a little better about the situation, realizing that she was an intern. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but, you know, compared, I'm a paid employee. So I was like, you know what? Who cares about her opinion? I don't care. Come in here and do your work for free. It's okay. I'm just kidding. We had to do like a last minute run to Office Depot, girl. It was a mess. I had to go with my coworker in her car. It's always super weird being in strangers' cars with them. But anyways, we got that situation settled. So fast forward, a few months passed, and one of the biggest projects that we were working on was in conjunction with another big company that worked in transit. And we were working on a line that was gonna go from downtown Denver all the way to DIA, because anybody who's from here or knows anything about Denver, DIA is nowhere near downtown. Nowhere in the world. They were coming up with the line that was gonna be a lot more convenient, easy, affordable, you know, for people to get from the Mecca all the way out to DIA in like one shot. So anyways, y'all, they were creating this light rail, and they were going to be, I had been seeing models of this thing on paper, and then I saw some like smaller 3D models of them during one of our meetings. But today was so special because everything that I had been seeing on this paper, on these diagrams and models, we were gonna be seeing in real life. Not the full thing, it was like a demo. It was like one of the cars, one of those that like, it almost looked like a museum, like where you can walk through and see what everything will look like when it's all said and done, okay? And they had a model that was ready to be looked at, and like some of the most important like government officials were gonna be coming out. It was a beautiful summer day. Press was there, like news outlets were there. Our company was gonna be taking half of the day off to go down there all together. It was at the other side of 16th Street Mall, so we were all gonna go over there and support our executives because they were gonna be speaking during this press conference about their role and how excited they are and da-da-da, right? And we were gonna get the tour of like the demo. Huge thing. And we start planning and coordinating who we're gonna be walking with, you know, whatever. So finally the day comes around, we're all excited, we got our walking shoes on, everything's good. And I, you know, link up with my home skillets, we start shutting everything down, I got the phones forwarded, everything's cool, and we take off. And I mean, we're taking over all of the 16th Street Mall, the free ride, the buses, girl, we're taking up like 4 or 5 of them, I'm not even kidding. Well, there's like a big crowd around where this demo is, and there's like this stage with a podium right in the middle, girl. You would have thought this was politics. So we get off, we decide that we're all gonna stand in one area next to the stage that was closest to the stairs because, like I said, a few of our execs were gonna be going up there to speak, right? We all stand together, all of us. And our execs are standing off, you know, closest to the stage, preparing. You know, I can see some of them pulling out notes and they're going over their stuff. And a lot of them had their assistants with them. And I hear one of the execs' name. And I recognize this voice, and it's Taylor. And she is coming through the crowd, and she's talking to one of the other execs, and she's like, hi, I'm here. And girl, this girl got on heels, okay? Our office is all the way on the other end, Timbuktu from here, like all the way on the other end. None of us were wearing heels this day. None of us. You hear me? This girl. But anyways, to each their own. To each their own. Much respect. Much respect. And she stands next to the one that she was talking to. And, you know, they're doing whatever. No big deal. Okay, cool. So everybody starts queuing up. And we have, you know, the opening speaker. very excited, you know, talking about the innovation, talking about the design, how long it's been in progress and everything. They're very proud to unveil this demo. Cool. Company peeps, we're gonna go in first, okay? So anybody who had like a lanyard for this event, you could go in first and you can go ahead and start lining up, right? So we end up moving around the stage, and behind the stage was the demo piece. They had speakers that were talking to the crowd while we went in there first. And so it was just kind of like this constant, you know, motion of people that were going in and out of this thing. So it's our turn. We go in this demo, you guys. It is so cool. The ceilings are high. They have like these, you know, the compartments on planes for your luggage. They essentially had exactly that, but in this light rail. Like the chairs were bigger, a lot more comfy. Like it looked so sleek and so cool. And it was just crazy to see this thing in real life that I had been printing out pages of time and time again. So we go through the demo and then we go take our spot right next to the stage where we were before. They start going through more of the speakers, you know, some of the press is asking some questions about when it'll open and timeline and stuff like that. And then it comes around to, oh, you know, we're in partnership with our company. Our execs start going up there, and one by one they're going on the podium, but they're lined up behind the person that's speaking at the moment. But all of them, I guess they did that so it like visually you could see like these are the amount of people that were working on this from this company. Some of them had their assistants with them, and the assistants were going up there and just standing, you know, towards the back. And then as their exec would go up and speak, they would just kind of stand there. They had notes for whatever, just for support, right? Everybody's applause, yay, yay. Everybody, it sounded like something off of a movie. I've always wanted to be a part of a community gasp. And this was my moment. 1 second to the next, we just see this girl's head and boom, she's gone. She's down, can't nobody see her. And then she pops back up. And I'm like, oh my God, not Miss Taylor. Not Miss Taylor. Girl, she done, I don't know what happened. Them heels did her dirty. They really, really did. This girl, she did an ugly fall. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But like growing up in the family that I have, if you fall in my presence, I'm going to laugh. I will make sure that you're okay. But I'm going to laugh. Like it is, girl, I had to. Not because I was trying to be mala, but because genuinely, like, I was not expecting somebody to come up here and eat shit, but it was just a little bit sweeter. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not here to front with you, okay? And act like I'm holier than thou and I'm just too grown to like, It was a little funny. It was a little... There was cameras going off. I guarantee you that somebody somewhere has a picture of Taylor mid-fall, like, busting her ass on that stage. She has to stand there while the speeches are going on, and she just has to stand there looking at the crowd, looking at the very people that just had a front row seat to her ass. It stole the show for a little bit. Like, you legit, there were people that were coming up to her trying to give her water, and she's like, no, like, I'm fine. And I felt bad for her because I was like, just leave her alone. Like, she's trying to recover. Like, how embarrassing. And I'm sure that had to, girl, I didn't feel too bad. I didn't feel too bad because I feel like had that happened to me in her presence, she wouldn't have felt bad either. So as soon as the last one of our executives did his speech, we all end up going back to the office because we could leave early that day. So we take off. That attitude must have fell out of her when she fell on that stage because, girl, she was a completely different... I never heard not a word from her ever again. Like, she even seemed like a lot nicer. I think it kind of humbled her a bit. God works in mysterious ways. No, I was kidding. Don't be mean. Don't be unprofessional. Don't be a hater, okay? Like, especially, I don't know, I experienced that a lot in the workplace, and not just with, like, me personally, but I would see that happening to coworkers and, like, between other people that just kind of had a vendetta against each other. There's a lot of office politics, pandering, betrayal, a disloyalty, like throwing other people under the bus, talking about other people, trying to step on other people to get higher up. Don't misunderstand. You still have to have your guard up in your workplace. Just because it's called a professional environment does not mean that people operate in a professional manner. Because at the end of the day, how she was behaving in the office was unprofessional. I don't really need to explain it any further. The girl fell and I thought it was funny. So res was res. I just wanted to let y'all know, I really wish somebody would have been a lot more real with me about the office dynamic, and like, pettiness still resides here. Let's not front. So I'm letting you know as your big sister, big cousin, cousin, your tia. That's what it is. If you guys have any questions or any of your own stories, let me know down in the comments below, of course. Thank y'all so much for coming to chill with me for story time. I hope you had yourself a good old time, got your mind off of everything, and I just want to let you know everything is going to be okay. I love you, but God loves you more, and I will see your fine self in my next video. Peace out, y'all.